So we got the audio working. Let's see who all we got on board here. And we got Kristen Watson, E.T. Herman, Cordova, Jason Ball, welcome. I'm gonna move this over here, and here they all come piling in. And I'm gonna scroll down here. Steve Snyder, Sue, Rosa, and okay, man, they must have trouble getting on. Normally we've got dozens and dozens on board by now, but tell you what, let's see, AJ's not in here, and I'm going to go with Steve Snyder. Do you have a microphone today, sir? Okay, Richard Adams does not have a microphone. And Rosa has a question. Let's see, no link was sent out. Yeah, I sent an email out. Rosa, you should have received it. Emails are not going out for the new lunch webinars. Okay. I thought I sent them this morning. Okay, so you didn't get anything. It's interesting. Those are all fired out. Anybody on the call, did you get an email this morning about today's topic? And if you did, just answer it in the question panel. Rosa said no. Richard Adams says no. Did anybody get an email with the link on the topic, today's topic? No. Okay, did you get one, Beth? Man, I sent out 2 of them and should have got one from GoToWebinar as well. I'm going to say probably 10:30ish. Nothing. Okay, well, you guys are in for a special treat. Okay, and this is some brand new stuff that's going to help everyone. I'm going to give it just a couple of minutes, and I had to go looking for you, Steve Snyder said. Well, you just go to mikebutler.com and click on the free training, the power lunches, and bingo, you got it. And I used an old email. We used the same old link there, Rosa, for years, and I'm actually going to be transitioning to a new one, probably something like a podcast, but I don't know how to do them. So wow, no link was sent out. Baffling. So I'm not going to dilly-dally around. Our gold, diamond, and platinum members, and Fred Helm. I'm going to see, Fred, can you, well, I guess you guys can hear me or you wouldn't be firing back in your question thing. So Fred, you want to play moderator today?
I can do my best.
Okay, and I'm going to try to turn all this up. And did you get an email this morning, Fred? No,
but I know how to find you.
You should have got one from GoToWebinar this morning. You should have got one from Kartra. I'm going to have to dig into that. I'm not going to do it now. I'll do it when we get done here. But interesting. So you all are the true dedicated, want to learn, okay, while sitting at home in your PJs or underwear. All right. Anyway, let's tee this puppy up. Oh, I've got to turn this on. So let me see. Hold on. My my overhead projector doodad thing ain't working. Well, hold on. Wonder what I did here. Display mode. I got to move that. And you're seeing a black screen, so am I. So let me unplug this puppy and plug it in a different USB port. I had everything set up, working, prepared this morning. And so you're not going to believe this, but it's true. So I'm going to fix me another cup of coffee and I go to the bathroom. I come back and I have my computer plugged into a power strip. Okay. And when I came back, my screen was blank. And I'm like, what? Holy cow. Long story short, the battery went dead. Okay. The AC wasn't turned on and I had to reboot it, restart everything. So I had a little panic attack, but like Murphy follows me around. But you guys are here. And so let's tee this up and we're going to get into it. So I assume Fred and everybody can hear right now. And AJ's in the house. AJ, can you hear me, buddy? Welcome. Come on, AJ. I've got coffee too, just like you, buddy. Okay. See right here? So he's getting his stuff fired up. So let's get into this, and let me tell you something, guys. I'm coming to you live from way atop the mountains here in Gatlinburg, overlooking Gatlinburg, and it is beautiful. We had a little bit of snow and ice yesterday, and what's really sad is we can see remnants of the fires that burned here, I don't know, 3 to 5 years ago or so, and pretty sad. But we've got a brand new, what is it, 5-bedroom? 6? She said she's doing thumbs up. A 5-bedroom, let's call it a luxury cabin in the mountains on top of this big hill. And you park at the door, which is really cool. And it's got a fireplace. It's got 5 master bedrooms. You get 5 master bedrooms. Each bedroom has a wahoozy tub, a jacuzzi tub with a fireplace in it. Every single one of them. My God. It's got a game room. I play cards with my, this is a Butler family Thanksgiving retreat because everybody was doing the COVID thing. And unbeknownst, we got into, you can't help it, got into business conversations after the girls played around in the hot tub last night and they started howling like wolves and bears and whatever. But anyway, I learned some stuff about banking that I didn't know. And you know what? It's stuff that you need to know as well. So stay tuned, get your notebook ready. This is going to be some good stuff. And let's say Kilroy McCracken is the vice president of Butcher Holler Bank number 3. Okay, and who I'm getting my information from. But he has to remain anonymous due to media feedback, all this other kind of garbage. But he's telling me stuff, and it's okay. He approved me sharing this with you. Okay, but this is good stuff. So, so Anthony says, all right, I got you, Anthony. So let's tee us up and let's get her going. Can you hear me, AJ? Are you there? It says I'm muted. I didn't mute you. Let's try it. Can you hear me, wild man? Anita turned off your microphone again. Okay, and Fred Helm is self-muted. Okay, so Fred, I'm counting on you to jump in if something gets goofy, okay? But at least let's tee this puppy up and get her going. So banking do's and don'ts. This is going to be stuff that I wish I would have known earlier and stuff I didn't know and stuff we should know together, okay? So think of it this way. I'm not the expert here. I'm learning, okay? And I'm just passing what I learned on to you. So anyway, let's talk about debit cards. We got into a very heated debate, discussion, if you will, last night over debit cards. Now, we were told, you've probably been told, use debit cards, don't use debit cards. There's all kinds of stuff out there, but what's the real McCoy? What's the real truth about debit cards? And let me share this with you. I didn't know this, okay? I carry a MasterCard debit card to one of my bank accounts for those people that don't take American Express. I cut it up last night. So why? Okay, never use debit cards. No. Trash them, cut them up, get rid of them. Why? Number one is refunds. Okay, so let's say that you buy something with your debit card and then you want to get a refund or dispute the charge. Okay, it's going to be ugly. Okay, so that's not good. I'm going to tell you why here in a second. Hackers, all somebody has to do, they don't even have to have your card, but if they get your account information, expiration, and that whatever secret code with your name, they can go on a shopping spree. And if you're not on top of your bank account every day, and none of us are, okay, your bank account with that debit card can get hacked. They can pull money out of it. Now watch this. This is going to blow your brains out. It can take up to 60 days to get your money back. That's if somebody challenges it or you dispute a charge in there. They're not going to say, oops, okay, wipe it out and put the money right back in your account. That's not good, okay? And the solution and benefits to not having a debit card is you're going to do this. Get a credit card with a reputable company, okay? Try to find those that's a reputable company with super low rates and get the cash back cards, That's pretty good. So you get a little bit of benefit on that as well. Now, any preference of one over the other, okay, as far as credit cards go. Okay, American Express. I highly recommend that, and that's what I use, and I prefer to use on all of my stuff, okay? And so I personally recommend American Express because you're required to pay it off at the end of the month, and it helps with budgeting and making sure that I don't want to use the credit card as a finance vehicle to finance purchases. No, if you need to finance it, don't buy it. But anyway, so but always have a MasterCard or Visa backup credit card for those folks that don't take American Express. Okay, now some merchants, bless their heart, they just don't know any better. Okay, they refuse to take American Express because American Express charges a little higher transaction fee versus MasterCard, Visa, and Discover. So they say, oh, we're not going to take American Express, they charge too much. Well, what they're missing out, guys, is American Express card holders are your best customers. You see? So anyway, so much on the credit cards there. I'm sorry that thing's shaking. I'm bouncing into this table. So what's up next here? I prepared this, can you tell? Okay, so let's do, one thing on the credit cards. Credit cards, if you dispute a charge or you try to get a refund, let's take it one at a time. Let's take a refund. So let's say you buy something and then you send it back or whatever, you take it back, get a refund. Bingo, shows right on your credit card for the most part within 24, 48 hours. Okay, now if you find, let's say you're looking through your American Express monthly statement and you look on there and say, oh, wait a minute, I didn't make that purchase and I didn't make this purchase. I don't know who the heck this is. You can dispute that charge with the click of a button. And you know what American Express does, and I assume other credit card companies do then too. If you dispute it and they can't prove that you actually bought that, well, as soon as you click the dispute button, they pull that money, put that money back in your account, and they take it out of the merchant's account immediately. That's pretty good for us as a consumer, okay? But now, most of us, and I encourage you to own rental property and get those 20 nice houses paid for. Never ever let a tenant pay by credit card. I mean, unless you're owning and operating luxury homes, or maybe, Airbnbs or VRBOs or HomeAways or A++ apartment communities. If you just got the cookie cutter, typical, high cash flowing, rock solid rentals, don't allow them to pay by credit card. Okay, they're just boom. That's 3%, if you will, for every time they pay rent. You don't want to do that. Now you're going to say, but I use this and they make them pay that. Well, I just never ever allow anybody to pay rent with a credit card, period. They can do online ACH and some others. So, and what's really bad about this, think about this. All they got to do is click that dispute button like me and you can inside of our credit card account, and they pull that money right out of the merchant's account. So all a tenant has to do is click dispute, bingo, whatever they paid you, they pull right back out of your account, okay? So it's okay for us. I recommend you to have an American Express card and a good old-fashioned debit card with a reputable company. And our secret insider vice president, Kilroy McCracken of McCracken County Bank, he recommends to get one that has a cash back feature as well. Get rid of the debit cards, okay? Because anything, a hacker, anybody gets a hold of that number, that card number, whatever, and they use that card, you're on your own for the most part, okay? So don't do that. That's a big tip. I sort of kind of knew that, just never enforced it. So let's talk about paying bills online. That's happening more and more. It's not that it's trending, it's already here. So paying bills online. So it's okay to pay bills using your credit card or using an online company account. So let's say you have a business account at Home Depot. It's okay to log into Home Depot and to your Home Depot account and pay your bill from there, whether it be from your bank account or your credit card, okay? It's okay to log into your Lowe's account to do that. It's okay to log in if your local hardware store has an online account, okay? It's okay to do that, okay? But watch this. Avoid paying bills or paying people with your operating account. What does that mean? Well, you do not want to use something like a Venmo, a PayPal, some third-party thing, or even with your own bank, okay, with those, like my bank, for example, I use Fifth Third, and I have an operating account. And so my bank will create checks, print them, and put a stamp on them and mail them to whoever I want every month for free. They'll do that automatically. All I have to do is log into my Fifth Third checking account and pay a bill that way. Well, what I learned this morning was don't do that. Don't do that, okay? You're going to see here in just a minute a way to protect yourself better with less effort, with the same steps, basically, with 100% protection for me and you. There's a huge difference in banking rules and laws on business accounts versus consumer accounts. I really didn't know that, and I thought whatever they talk about on TV, that's what we get. That's not true. Okay. So solution. Now watch this. You may have heard of this. I've heard of it, but did I ever pull the trigger and implement it? No. But I am tomorrow. So I'm going to create, and if you've got an operating account, which I teach how folks to do in their Investor Books Pro system with tenant tracking, we've got an operating account, and I encourage that. You know, all the income comes in there, and you pay all the bills from there from one simple account. Well, we're going to make a slight adjustment here. Wherever you have your operating account, the same bank, same credit union, same institution, or whatever, I want you to open what's called a sweep account. Okay, open a sweep account, and here's what this does. You're going to open a sweep account, and you're going to use it exclusively for all of the online payments that come in, whether it's ACH, anything. All of your income goes into one account, and then at the end of each day, watch this, and it's free. Okay, now some lenders, okay, let me see what I got on here. Okay, so you're going to probably try to read all that. So if I take my little crayon here, my free stolen bank pen. So if you have an operating account like me, that's what I've got. Most of us probably do. I want you to keep it. Don't close that account. Keep it. Okay. So number one is open a new bank account, and it's a checking account, and call it the sweep account. You want to open up a sweep account. Okay. So open it up and put $100 in it, and I'll show you why. Okay. Now all of your income gets deposited into this sweep account. Okay. Now watch what happens here. Now set a trigger with whoever sets up your account. Okay. For example, at the end of each day, take all the money in this account and move it into my operating account, except $100. So you're going to always have a $100 balance in there at the end of each day, and take all the other money that's there and put it into my operating account. And it does it automatically. You don't have to set it and forget it. Okay. Now, then you're going to go, but Mike, what if I end up with a negative balance? So let's say a tenant's payment bounces or check bounces. Okay. If a tenant's check bounces, yep, your rent's going to be more than $100. So you might have a negative $700 or negative $800 or negative $1,000. Don't worry, that's okay, because at the end of the day, guess what they're going to do? If it goes negative, they're just going to pull it from this checking account to maintain that $100 balance at the end of each day. That's okay. It's at the same bank. You're in Investor Books. This is a no-brainer to set this up. Okay, and I'm going to edit all of the Investor Books company files from probably this week forward, and it's going to show a sweep account in there for you. Okay, because this protects us big time, protects you big time. Okay, so now if they get your no bills are paid from the sweep account, it's only income. So if somebody tries to hack your account and pull money out of it, banks said, nope, this is only income only. Okay, that's another step of protection for me and you. That's pretty cool. Moving on to number 3 now. Online transactions, part 2. There's a feature in the banking industry that I have never heard of until this morning. Okay, it's called positive pay. Now, you sharp investors that got great relationships with your little small town bankers and all, some of you probably are already using this, but I was blown away this morning because as many decades that I've been in the real estate business, and I encourage you to have relationships with your banker, not one time have I ever heard this come up. Okay, even with online banking, I don't know, maybe they had a logo over there and I didn't know what it was, but I've never heard of this. So it's a banking standard service. So any bank USA that's in the USA has this standard, has this service. Now, I highly recommend it. I was told it's a must-have, and I'm going to tell you it's a must-have. I'm getting this same time I set up my sweep account, probably tomorrow or later on today. Now, what's the cost? Yeah, everybody wants to, well, how much does this cost? Well, it's like adult diapers, and the answer is depends. Okay, so it depends on what, Mike? Well, it depends on the bank or your credit union or whoever. Let's see, I got something floating around in the middle here, and I got to try, it's underneath my questions panel. Hold on. So I don't know why that thing does. There we go. Got to get rid of that one too. So think about this. What is this thing doing? Keeps popping these things up. I don't know how to stop it from doing that. You should have screamed at me, Fred or AJ. But anyway, let's get back to the cost. How much does it cost to have positive pay linked up with your bank account, your checking account, whatever, okay? Or your operating account. So the cost, it's going to depend on the bank or credit union that you use. For example, it can be anywhere from free to a flat fee per month. And it depends on the bank. And I want you to pursue and always ask for what? Free. Now, some of them might have a flat fee per month, but a lot of banks, okay, they want to encourage you to buy their products and their services and things like that. So they might have a goofy rule, okay? And this is just my opinion, and this is sort of kind of what I learned this morning. They might require you to maintain a $5,000 balance in your account, then you can use positive pay for free. Or it might be a minimum balance, it might be certain type of accounts or savings, whatever, okay? Each bank, each credit union is gonna control the cost to use positive pay, and I recommend free, okay? And if they say it costs $12 a month or $9 a month or $49 a month, say, what can I do to get it for free? Okay, and they may have an answer, or they may go blah, 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 not have an answer, but always pursue that. This right here is a must-have for anybody doing business today, and I'll show you why. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that up here at the top. So here's the benefit. So you heard me say on the previous pages that I use my Fifth Third Bank operating account. I do online banking, and what we can do is log in to my Fifth Third Bank account, my Fifth Third Bank online website, go to my operating account within there, and I can actually create and pay, create checks and pay bills that Fifth Third Bank will print out, put a stamp on it, snail mail it to whoever I want to pay. That's pretty cool. Now, let's just leave it at that. They don't charge anything for that. But now if somebody presents a check, okay, this is what's gonna knock your socks off. If somebody gets a hold of your check number and your account number and makes a check payable to themselves, which is a forgery, a fraud, and you know they got all kinds, you can order checks with that magnetic strip and put whatever account number you want and all this and that. Somebody, okay, if you pay them by check, they've got that information. So think about this. Not everybody in the world is altar boys. Not everybody in the world is, June and Ward Cleaver and Beaver and Wally and Andy Griffith and all that. There's some criminals out there. And it's so much easier to get money this way than to rob a bank. So I said, use it like an online bank account to pay a bill. So remember I said, when I want to create a check and pay somebody or a company, I'll log into my Fifth Third Bank website and go to that account. Well, now we're going to log into this. We're going to log into our Positive Pay account and do the very same thing. It's going to take the same amount of time to create a check and pay somebody using Positive Pay. Okay, think about that. Same amount of time, really nothing different other than opening up that Positive Pay account within your bank. Okay, so now here's the benefit. So you log into Positive Pay and pay your bill from there, right? Create the check to pay, just like you do, just like I did in my checking account with Fifth Third Bank online. Now we're going to, there's that daggone thing again. Prevent this, whatever. I don't know how to turn them monkeys off. Right. And so you're going to log into Positive Pay and pay your bills from there. Now, I'm not saying, remember, Home Depot, if you got an online account there, commercial account or whatever, pay it from there. It's easier. Okay. Same way with Lowe's and stuff like that. But, you know, if you're going to pay Jackleg Roofers, well, then use Positive Pay. If you're going to pay Larry Darnell does plumbing today, well, then use Positive Pay. Okay. Now, this is something I did not know, and it blew my socks off. Did you know that business accounts are not regulated like consumer accounts are? So for example, if you have a consumer personal account and you write a check or somebody forges it, they'll reimburse you because they're not supposed to honor that doesn't have your signature in it. They don't have to honor that in a business account. Uh-oh, I didn't know that. I bet you didn't either unless you're in the banking industry. So business accounts are not regulated like consumer accounts. So fraud, forged checks might not be honored. Okay? So the federal banking regulations, they don't have any regulations for business accounts, so they can do whatever they want. Now, I will remind you this. Those banking regulations, sometimes each individual state comes in with tighter restrictions or laws to do that. So, but as a national standard for banking regulations, they don't regulate business accounts, but each individual state might have business law or business guidelines, regulations for them to follow. So you need to look up and check your state law, okay? I'm not going to look up my state law on that. I'm just glad to know that. So with a Positive Pay account, watch this. Here's what's beautiful about the Positive Pay and why I want you to use it and why I'm going to use it. So what happens with Positive Pay is when you log into your Positive Pay account and you pay bills, boom, 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 boom. Okay. What it does, what happens here is you're telling the bank, these are the only payments I authorize. So when a check is submitted that is not in your Positive Pay account, they will not honor it. Think about that. So if you pay Larry and Daryl today and Bluegrass Roofing tomorrow, and you pay some plumber and you pay a handyman and your trash out guy, and you create 5 checks today using Positive Pay, okay, that's the only checks they're going to honor. So the bank will maintain your list of Positive Pay payments that you've made, and those are the only ones that they're going to honor. So if another check comes in that's not on this list, okay, including if you carry paper checks with you and you handwrite one out there on the hood of your truck, you better put it in Positive Pay, because if that person goes to cash that check and the bank doesn't see it on your Positive Pay list, they're not going to honor it. They're going to refuse it. And then you got a little bit of a headache. So, but it's well worth it. In today's world of hacking and identity theft and all this stuff, use Positive Pay, even if there's a small fee for it per month. I'm hoping I get it for free with the amount of accounts that we have in there. I have not talked to my banker about this yet because I just learned this stuff this morning before getting on here with you guys right now. And so the bank will automatically will not honor it. They will not honor it. They will not cash it because it's not on the Positive Pay. list of authorized payments that you made, okay? And it's not limited to my bank. It goes with any bank nationwide. Has this banking standard service called Positive Pay. Now, they might use some kind of slang, call it something else, like a hamburger is called all kinds of different things across fast food restaurants and all. And if you go to a fancy sit-down place, they got a 7-syllable burger, okay? But it's still Positive Pay. Only honors what you paid in your Positive Pay account. Now we're going to get into some more stuff here, and then we'll wrap it up with Q&A. What did I do with my clock? I gotta see what time it is. Here we go. I've got to have my little clock here, guys, or I'm just totally lost, and I use analog. See that? So there's where we're at. And it's probably a minute or two fast, I hope. All right. So moving on. We're going to scoot this puppy down. So online in the cloud banks. So I asked them about that. I said, hey, Kilroy, what about these banks? We see them popping up on TV and stuff called, I'm thinking Chime. There's probably another one out there where they don't have any brick and mortar locations. They don't have a branch that you can walk in and talk to somebody or meet somebody. Everything's done in the cloud. And he gave me some pros and cons with that. Okay, Chime, PayPal, other things like that. So here's the deal with those in the cloud banks. If you never ever want to walk into a bank and meet somebody or talk to somebody, then in cloud banking, on the cloud or whatever they call it, banking would probably be okay. But keep in mind, you're just a number and you fit into their pre-formatted templates of everything from banking procedures, guidelines, fees, everything across the board. Okay, if you can live with that, then online banking is probably okay. And they generally pay more on a savings account. And here's why. If they don't have any bricks and mortar locations and they don't have any employees, tellers and branch managers and things like that, and utilities and parking lot maintenance and roof maintenance and all this and that, they've got a whole lot less overhead than the brick and mortar bank branches. Okay, so that's basically the only difference. But we're going to take it a step further here. So you're going to see that after this session, after this little number 5, paperless versus snail mail. Okay. More and more I see this happening. And actually me and my wife butt heads over this one. She's a paper kind of girl. I grew up in a paper environment and I love paper. Let me see. I'm not going to say I loved it. I recall when I would get my bank statements in the mail and I'd have a 2, 3, 4, 5 page bank statement on my operating account. And then all of my canceled checks are in there. So I've got a canceled check as a receipt. And I can remember every month sitting there and flipping through those, looking at them. Okay. And I never ever trust the bank to do my bookkeeping. Okay. They have these online features where you can download your bank transaction. Now, don't do that, guys. Never ever do that, because what you're doing is you're allowing your bank to do your to do your bookkeeping. And they make mistakes. I found them. So I want you to keep your books inside of Investor Books. And then when it's time for bank statements, go over to your bank account, go over to your bank's website and go into each of your accounts and set up and get paperless statements so they get emailed to you. Set up paperless alerts if the account gets overdrawn or if there's a check bounces. You want to know about it now, don't you? Do you want to wait 2, 3, 4, 5 days, whatever, the post office before it comes to you? Look at all this mail-in balloting commotion that's going on with today's election. I'll leave it at that. But anyway, and he also said this. He told me that paperless transactions, statements, notifications, annual, whatever, sign up for everything you can paperless and get an email. That's encrypted, guys, and it's 10 times safer. Whereas somebody could get a hold of your snail mail, they'll get your account number, they'll get all the address, contact info, all that off your statement. And so just go paperless. And a huge added benefit that I love about it is you can take whatever's sent to you, you can have a 100% paperless office. QuickBooks back in 2013 finally did something that I've been complaining, I'll use the B word, I've been complaining about for probably 20 years at that time. And what I wanted to do was to be able to attach files to accounts. So in 2013, they did that. So now let's remember my operating account from Fifth Third? Now there's a little column on the far right when you look at all your list of accounts, and it says attachment. I can attach each bank statement into, or attach it to that bank account. Okay, I can attach my promissory note, mortgage, closing statement, contract, appraisal, anything, everything to each account in there. You can attach that. So now you can go true blue 100% paperless. Am I paperless today? I'd like to think I am moving forward, but I can't go back and take those 25 years or whatever it was of all those file cabinets. I'm not going to scan those on all those properties I own just so I can go paperless. I'd have to have a full-time person in there for 2 or 3 months just to do that. So this allows you to go 100% paperless, and he says it's safer and more secure. I didn't know that, okay, than snail mail, but he brings up a valid point. And plus, think of this. A lot of banks, a lot of financial institutions, credit unions, if you want snail mail, they're charging you a fee for that, okay? So just like pizza does. So less risk. Hackers have easier access to your stuff with snail mail, and it's faster and it's free, okay? Small bank versus big bank. I would want to ask the guy who's the vice president of the bank and sits on the board, okay? If you want personal relationship to get things done, go with a small bank. I'm not saying small town bank. You can live in a big city, okay? You can live in a big city, but you still have small banks. This bank might have 6 branches. This bank might have 3. This bank might have 1. So I recommend, okay, and the big thing here is let's do this. If you want to have a personal relationship with a go-to person at your bank where you do your banking business, well, then a small bank is what you want to do, because you can reach out to them, contact them, say, hey, look at here, they changed my interest rate, blah, 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 and you want to get that resolved. Now, if you're in one of them big banks, especially in the online cloud, in the cloud bank, you're not going to get those kind of contacts or somebody who can reach out and get results to you that day or in a day or 2 at most, okay? So small bank gives you a lot more personal benefits. Okay, big banks, you're just a number. Okay, so chew on that. Now, but I've got a big bank that I use, and I've got a private banker that they assign me and have a branch manager. Well, I do that at Fifth Third, okay? I was with Fifth Third day 1 when they came to Kentucky. They bought out a bank called Cumberland that I banked with. And so they bought out Cumberland, became Fifth Third Bank of Kentucky. This guy here has their number 1 mortgage loan, and for Fifth Third Bank of Kentucky was mine. And I did a refi on a property. So that's just nice to know trivia. If you ever want to say, who has the first mortgage loan with Fifth Third Bank of Kentucky? Mike Butler does. Okay. Online access can be the same. And doesn't matter if they're a small bank or if they're really, really small bank like Butcher Holler, or maybe one like down in Madisonville, they do everything paper. If you're in that kind of environment, they don't even have a website probably. But I'm going to bet you almost every single bank, credit union, financial institution has a website in today's world. So you can access that, even if you've got a bank that has 3 locations or even 1 location in your big city. You can access that as long as they have a website where you can log in and you got internet. You can log in and do your banking or whatever, everything just like sitting at home on your laptop or in your office on your computer. Okay. ATMs. Now, I haven't used an ATM since my littlest brother Denny had his bachelor party way back a long time ago, and they had what's called a Genie card, and I just didn't like it. It got some money out of there. I don't know if somebody stole my card or whatever, but it was just a mess. And I said, you know what? I don't need that anymore. So me personally, I don't use ATMs, not at all. But talking to Kilroy, he says that any bank, USA, you can have access to ATMs all over the world for that matter. And it depends on each bank or credit union if there's any fees involved. So keep in mind, they might do something like this. If you have this account and that account and this account, you get free ATM service. Oh, okay. If you have no accounts, your ATM is going to cost this. I don't know, but they make the rules. Okay. But I like free, and you should too. Go after the free versions. Okay. And let's see what else we got on here. Big bank benefits. Okay. Big bank benefits is the number of locations. So you have brick and mortar locations all over town, but even the big banks are closing those things left and right. And you've seen the vacant, for lease signs and all this and that. And the industry, whether you like it or not, is going online. It's called e-commerce. And so with that, guys, I'm gonna pull this down here, and it's question Q&A time. So fire in your question. I'm gonna move it over here to the top so I can see it. And Kilroy, is Kilroy down here? Did I miss anything? Kilroy. Hey, wouldn't there? Oh, did I miss anything, Kilroy? All right. Kilroy gave me a blessing and said, that sounds good. So I'm going to get knighted in bankhood or something like that. So anyway, let's see what our questions are here, guys. I see many of you never got an email notification. Okay, I get unmuted. So let's see. If I got you muted, it automatically, okay. AJ, I'm trying to unmute you, my friend. Okay. Let's see. So everybody's talking about not getting email links this morning, but I sent out 2 of them. Okay. Our business bank accounts not FDI insured. This comes from Joanne over in the Carolinas, I think. So I'm out in your neck of the woods here somewhere up on top of a mountain. So I asked Kilroy that. Are business bank accounts not FDIC insured?
They are FDIC insured.
They are FDI insured. Good question, Joanne. So let's do this. Business accounts. I'm going to put this at the bottom for you. I'll put it at the top. How about that? Because I don't want to move my MikeButler.com. So biz accounts are FDIC insured for up to how much? $250K per bank account or per bank?
Per deposit. So it's per
Oh.
deposit per bank.
Okay, per depositor.
Per bank.
So I'm going to assume I got Mike Butler, the individual who can have bank accounts. I've got my business C Corp account has its own bank accounts with its own EIN number that's treated as a depositor.
That's the difference. Your EIN number is what drives it.
Okay, so EIN number drives it. Okay, EIN number. So think of it this way. If you open up if you have something where you're doing business as Atlas Real Estate, okay, and Atlas Real Estate does not have an EIN number, well, then all that's going to fall under your social. So that's one depositor. Now, you can go get and set up an LLC. If you do it proper, many folks they go to so-called expert to set up an LLC, and it's done wrong, and it drives me insane. But here's what's beautiful about an LLC. You can set up the right kind of an LLC and avoid an extra tax return. And get this, you can also get a separate EIN number for that LLC. Now this is going to hurt your head, and it's a little bit of the asset protection and privacy stuff that I teach, but I encourage you to do this as you start getting some nest, or getting getting some eggs in your nest, some golden eggs, and start acquiring good assets. So let's say I want to set up my ABC LLC. So I set it up the right way so I don't get an extra tax return. Okay. And then I open up a bank account for that LLC. And because you have to have a bank account to prove that that has life. Okay. Now, there's also another form when you set up your LLC, and it says, how are you going to report the taxable events? Okay, how are you going to report income and expenses for this LLC? What entity type are you going to use to report it? Well, you can say, I'm going to treat it as a sole proprietorship. So if you got that, that means the LLC for IRS purposes, now think about this, don't hurt your head. For IRS purposes, this LLC does not exist. Okay. That's pretty cool, ain't it? Okay. Or you can say treat it as an S corp, treat it as a C corp, treat it as some other kind of partnership. Okay. Whatever. So you get to check the box is what my CPA calls that. So I like to check the box that says it don't exist. So it's all going to go on my personal return. That way I have no extra tax return. Okay. But here's where you, in order to get the FDIC proper protection, make sure you get an EIN number for each entity, okay? Each entity that you have, each business. So Joanne, for example, she can have Joanne Armstrong's personal checking account. Boom, she's insured for up to $250,000, okay? She's got, I make champagne out of lemons, okay? Out of rotten lemons. I take rotten lemons and turn them into champagne, not lemonade. Okay, and so that's an LLC. And so she can set that up, check the box. It does not exist for IRS purposes. I'm treating it as a sole proprietorship. All the taxable stuff is going to show up on my personal return, but I want an EIN number. You can do all this online in just a matter of minutes. And so they will assign an EIN number to her Lemons to Champagne LLC. And now she can use that EIN number when opening up bank accounts. And that's a separate, different depositor, treated like a different individual. Okay, so if you've got C corps, you got more LLCs or whatever. So each entity, okay, each depositor per depositor, and the EINs which triggered, if it's a different depositor, is protected up to $250,000. Okay, excellent question, Joanne. Okay, she said she did not receive an email. I'm still muted by me. Okay, AJ. This thing apparently is muting you automatically because right now it says self-muted and I haven't clicked it since. Try it again. Maybe you're hitting the wrong. Try it again there. I just want to see if it works. Okay, while we're waiting for AJ, I'm going to read another question. Greg Seitz, question on positive pay. Is it good because you use online generated check as opposed to a handwritten check? Can you hear that one, Kilroy? On positive pay, is it good because you are using online generated check as opposed to a handwritten check?
You can use either with positive pay.
Okay, you can use either, okay? And you can do a handwritten check, Greg, if you want, but always go into your positive pay account and enter it there because only the checks that if you have a positive pay account, which I encourage you to do, and I'm going to do it, they're only going to redeem cash, only the checks that are on that list. Okay, that's what's beautiful about it. So even if somebody gets a hold of your paper checkbook or you leave it on top of the car at the gas station or at Hooters or when you go in there or something, or you drink too much, okay? If somebody even gets a hold of those checks that you use, that you write out checks to pay people, they can write out all the checks they want and try to go to your bank and cash them where the account is. They won't cash them because it's not on your list in your positive pay account. The bank has software that automatically kicks it out, okay? I don't know how that works. I don't want to know how it works, but it's a great benefit. So AJ still muted. What are you doing, my friend? Try it again. It says self-muted. I didn't touch it. I'm just reading the questions. Maybe you built the wrong kind of computer this time. Maybe you need to get on positive unmute. I don't know. Okay. All right. Joanne says, how about this argument to paper statements? The statements are less secure from hackers once you download these from the internet. Okay. There are infinite number of internet hackers and much smaller number of paper hackers, especially if your mailboxes are locked. Okay. And I agree with the notification from the bank, although hackers been sending phishing emails and texts claiming to be a notification from our bank. You're absolutely right across the board on all that stuff, Joanne. But I'm going to tell you, remember now, the bankers, people who operate the bank, the board of directors, the CEO, the president, all that, they got to report to their board of directors, their stockholders, whoever. Okay. and they're not going to allow their website, okay, to be hacked. They pay high dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars every year for this protection. Okay, it's encryption. I think there's a less opportunity for me using my banking website to download my statements into PDF format. Okay, or if I go paperless and they email them to me, I feel 10 times safer getting it paperless or downloading it into PDF format than I do getting snail mail. Snail mail is going to take a day or two or three or four sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't show up at all. Okay, and then anybody gets hold of that envelope can open it up and get your information. So I'm a big fan of paperless. Okay, Joanne, I understand me and you both come from the same generation and we just function better with paper. That's why this thing right here, Joanne, okay, my brain can function with that. I can do other things and still keep that in the back of my mind. But if you give me something that shows numbers, like it is 12:55 p.m., my brain explodes. It can't stay focused on what I'm trying to do because now I got these numbers that I got to figure out what that means. Oh, that means what time it is. Oh, okay. So now it means, oh, I got less than 5 minutes to go. Oh, where was I? Okay. But if I just see this, I can mentally keep on target, keep on the zone, and keep moving forward. So that's a handicap that me and you as a caveman and cavewoman, okay, have from the way we grew up. AJ, I don't know what's going on. Okay, but I'm not going to say it's your fault. I'm not going to say it's my fault. Trust me, I am unmuting you on my end, but it still says self-muted. So could be one of your newfangled computers. Let's get through these questions because I do have a 1 o'clock I got to get on. Okay, so AJ, okay, he's still fighting to get on here. Good question, Greg Seitz. Okay, yeah, you can still write your checks, but put them in positive pay so that your people can get them cashed. How about this? Oh, we just did that, Joanne. Okay, the question thing, I got to try to scoot up. Let's see, AJ still muted. James Tan, hope I'm saying that right. Do you let tenant deposit rent directly into your checking account? Good question, James. Here's what we do, and I've got my bride, she might be listening to me. We use something called ACH, okay? Get with your banker on that. And what's beautiful about ACH is it doesn't cost anything. And we use it for folks that want to get set up on a payday plan to get paid every 2 weeks, not twice a month. It's not the 1st and the 15th. We're going to do it every 2 weeks, okay? And do it where it matches, say, their payroll, okay? So we get ACH, and your banker, wherever you have your operating account, wherever you have your sweep account at, they will have a form that they use in-house to sign somebody up to get on an ACH payment program, recurring payment program. Okay, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Call them up, tell them that you got tenants and you want them to pay rent online using ACH. That should be free. If they try to, and if they try to say, no, you can't do that, it costs money, well then say, how can I get it for free? Okay, here she comes. I tried to ask her earlier, she wasn't here. Okay.
You have to have like a back office thing like we do. You have to have.
The business account.
No, it's a back office commercial account.
Okay, Beth says you have to have a back office commercial account, but the bottom line is this. Okay, I don't want to make it complicated. All I'm going to say is get with your banker, and just use the word ACH. And I'd like for my tenants to be able to pay using ACH, and they'll hold your hand and set it all up for you. Okay, good question, James Tan. Okay, I've woken the wolves and the bears are going to start howling. Does your online statement show the image of the checks? Yes. Good question, James. Yes. I also get a bank statement, and then there's a second one called check images. That's just with my bank. And I get a copy front and back of all the endorsed canceled checks, okay? And I save that to my investor books into that bank account. Okay, I bank at Capital One. Their check image is so small, I can't recognize what they are. Okay, good question there, James. So here's a benefit of a small town or smaller bank versus a big bank. So try to reach out to whoever you bank with Capital One. Tell them you can't read those check images. How can I fix that so I can read them? Okay. You might get somebody who's generous and helpful and tell you how to do it, but it's going to have to be extra steps you do on your end. Whereas in a small bank, you can contact that person you have the relationship with and say, hey, look at this stuff. I can't read it. Can you read it? I need this fixed. And they'll get it fixed. Okay. They'll do it because they don't want that. If it's happening to you, it's happening to other people, and they want to keep their customers. Okay. Big banks don't care. Good question, James. AJ, got a message that I've been unmuted. He's still fighting it. Got a message been unmuted. What is it? Then get message that I'm muted. I don't know. It's doing something weird. Joanne says Wells Fargo charges a fortune to pull money out of tenant bank account via ACH. However, if I go to a tenant's bank with a tenant and tell them ACH form, then it no charge, time consuming. Joanne, you're probably right. But lesson learned here is I would not bank with Wells Fargo. That's what I would do. Okay, if they're going to charge them for that. So once again, if they want to charge you a fee for that, just ask them, how can I get it for free? And generally they'll tell you, okay, in a small bank. Okay, Capital One, very, very big. I don't even know if they have brick and mortar locations, do they? No, they don't, probably don't. So there's another online banker. But anyway, guys, this has been awesome. AJ, keep fighting with that microphone, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. And I'm going to see why nobody got emails this morning. I'll check that out. Stay safe, stay warm. Open up a positive pay account right away. Get yourself a sweep account. And I'll see you on the next one. Okay? Adios. Bye-bye. I'm going to try to close this and how to turn this off. Wait a minute. Hold on. So we're going to exit this. Do you want to end the webinar? Yes.